Alright guys, so I'm going to give this a try. I'm doing a voiceover of a video that I recently made. So here is the template. I'm trying to show you the layers, how we break it down. Probably another video where I'll show you the exact reasons for that. But for now, we're just going to do a preview and I'm going to show you guys how to design a new snowmobile route. So here I'm working in the design layer. You can see on the right hand of the screen over here. And I'm just putting a black square in the background. Whatever you put in this layer will always be behind the preview layer because of the layout of the layers. So where are we at here? Okay, I'm just gonna start laying in some color here now. So we're using black as a background so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna use the Bezier tool, and I'm trying to decide on exactly where I'm gonna lay in the different color. So I'm going to split this template up. This is basically the side of the nose cone, or hood, the nose of the hood. And I'm going to use the template's own lines to justify where I'm going to lay these colors. This is basically a pretty simple design that I'm making here. I will continue to make some more videos. And again, this is my first one, so I might need to get a mic in the future, maybe a better camera, who knows. But we're going to give this a try, and if you guys can pick up anything from this, then that's great. So here I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with my lines. I'm just going to lay in some artwork here. And basically just working with elements. You're talking to a customer, the customer will tell you the basics, like for example what colors he or she would like, where they would like it, what kind of design work they're interested in, maybe what kind of logos they would like to have input into the graphic design. I mean, basically whatever information they can give you. A lot of people might even have some ideas that they found from online, and they might want to put 2 and 3 designs together to make their own, or whatever. So here you can see I'm working on the one side. I'm using a pick tool. I'm going to choose a color here, I think, which I have pre-chosen down on the bottom here. For this video, I'm going to use RGB colors, because RGB colors always turn out to be the brightest in the on the screen here. However, my machine is a CMYK machine, so I'm probably not going to use that when it comes time to print. But for these purposes here, this will give you an idea of what I'm doing. So I believe I'm going to get ready to do some contouring here. So I'm going to contour inside, and I'm probably going to go 1/4 inch, 0.25. I'm going to apply it. You can see the pink is the contoured area or shape. So I'm probably just going to break it apart by right-clicking on the pink area here. I believe that's what I'm going to do. Yes. I chose the outside layer and made it. So I'm going to swap the colors here. I'm going to put the outside layer as the lighter purple, and the inside layer as the darker purple. And you might want to take the outlines off here. I'm gonna use the node selection tool and just drag around my nodes so that the lines aren't perfectly symmetrical all the way around. I'm just gonna try to make it look like there's more of a shadow. Here you are. You can see what I'm trying to do here now. So as I get better at this, I'll probably post as much as I can on YouTube, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot as I'm going. I haven't been professionally trained to do this. It's something I've been doing for a long time. just experimenting on my own. I'm using Corel Draw X8, I believe, in this version. Yes, it works really well. I've been experimenting with Photoshop for a few years. Photoshop is where you get a lot of textures, which I'm going to use later in this video. You basically make your own textures with different brushes that you can make. I can probably show you a different video of that, but there's lots of Photoshop tutorials online. Eventually you'll save so many different texture files from over the years. I've been working on snowmobile templates for probably, gosh, 4 or 5 years, and I've been doing graphic design for over 10. I can't remember exactly what I'm doing here in this part of the video. Probably trying to think of exactly how I'm going to move forward here. Something to keep in mind when you're doing these templates, you got to make sure that you have a good template. So the lines, like say for example in this particular case, I have the lines going in a way where if they don't meet up perfectly, it's going to show up. Okay, here we go. This is where I'm at in the frost texture. So this is a texture that I had online for a while in my own folders. I just imported it. It's a JPEG file, and now I'm going to tile the image. Here you can see where I'm trying to put it together as nicely as possible and just mirror the image with that button right there. Yeah, I'm going to mirror it so it goes together nicely. I mean, you can still see where it's tiled, but for the purposes of this video, you're going to see that you're not going to notice any of this because the line work is going to go over the top of it. And I'm just trying to make an area big enough where I can cover the majority of the background of the black here. Eventually, I'm not aiming to have a lot of black on this image. It's just I like to use a black background just so I can. So I'm going to tile this once more here. Should soon be big enough where I can. Yes, there we go. That's going to be huge. You can just group them together with that button there. Yep, and bring it down. We're going to tuck this in the background. Right now it's probably going to be over the blue, which it is. And you can right click on the image that you just put in there, and you can change the order to the back and then put the black to the back, or you'll have the, yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I did. So you can push control page down, or control page down goes down one layer at a time. You can push control end, and control end will bring it right to the back of the page. But essentially what we really want is the black to the back of the page. So as you can see now, the black is going to be completely gone. Now you'll see some lines in this graphic design here, but when it prints, it will not show those lines in the tile. But you can see where the lines are going over the purple is going over the majority of the image. So you can't really tell that it's tiled. That's what I was trying to explain earlier. So I'm only working on one side of this image right now, because what's going to happen is, to make it symmetrical, I'm just going to... okay, here I'm trying to put on a black background, and I'm contouring outside of the light purple. There's a lot of black in the snowmobile. It's Alpha 1, so there's black, there's purple, there's some grays, I do believe. So I'm trying to stick with, when you're doing graphic design on a sled, you kind of want to stick with the same. Like if the snowmobile is black, then you should almost interpret that, or I should say, involve that in your wrap. So I'm just zooming back and forward here just to get a good overview shot of. I think I'm just adding some. There we go with the node selection tool here. It's nothing special, guys. You can follow along here and experiment. As I said, this was my first video, so I'm probably not explaining this good enough, but here I'm just trying to straighten it all up. what's good about doing a video like this too is that I'm sure a lot of graphic designers will probably watch this, chime in, and they can even make some suggestions for me because, like I said, I'm not a professional at this, guys. I enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sure there are loads of things that I can learn as well, and it's a great reason to document this whole process. And if it can help somebody along the way, then so be it. And if I can get any help along the way, please feel free to make any suggestions to make this easier. Okay. I believe I'm at a point now where I'm going to add some more purple in on the tunnel here. Yes, with the Bezier tool, same rules apply as last time. I'm gonna try to put some shapes together. Just trying to imagine how this would lay out on the snowmobile here. You kind of want to match the angles that are coming down from the hood. So this is why I'm starting off in this angle here. I kind of want to add a little bit of purple in this area besides, because the frame rail of the Alpha 1 is also purple, so you kind of want to put a little purple in the back here. It's not going to be crazy, but... And then I'm going to add some texture to within the purple, and I'll show you guys how to do that shortly here. You can buy the textures online. I'm not going to say what sites, because you can basically choose your own. They're all over the internet. Prices always vary. Some are good, some are not so good. What I'll end up doing is a lot of my templates, I'll probably start off with buying one, and then I'll modify it until it's perfect, because they're never always perfect. There's always much more work to be done on each one, in my opinion. Here I'm taking the outline off with the right click onto the color chart on the right. There's on the top of each color, there's a white area with an X through it. If you right click on that, it will take the outline off of the color that you're adding here. So I just did that. Anyways, we're moving on past that now. We're going to do the same basically as I did down there. I'm just using the node selection tool, and I'm making some areas of the purple more predominant. Once I'm happy with that, I'll put a black outline on it. Yep, we're just contoured to the outside. And we're gonna have to right click on whatever we there we go. I'm gonna right click on that. I'm gonna break contour group. For some reason it didn't show the pull down menu, but when you right click on the contour, the contoured area, there will be a selection there. I believe it's the third one down or the second one down. It says break contour group part, and that's what you'll want to do. You'll want to break the contour group part so you can do what I'm doing now. You can manipulate it with the node selection tool. You drag this around as much as you want, until it looks right. I don't like it too symmetrical, so I always drag it around and make some parts thicker than others. It looks better in the end. I have to say I really like the colors on this wrap. The bluish green with the purples really looks great. So what I'll do is I'll attach. I'm actually going to do this snowmobile wrap for a customer. And with his permission, I might post the before and after video of this particular wrap. Maybe I'll even show some clips of installation tips on how to install the wrap. So anybody who's wanting to design a wrap themselves, I mean, you'll need Corel Draw for this tutorial, and you're gonna need to design your own wrap. I mean, you can do it. Start from this. You might have a different a different set of elements. You know, you might have different colors. But I mean, the same rules apply. You can experiment a bit. Eventually, you get really good at this, especially if we can use this YouTube channel to learn from each other. Um, so here I'm just finishing off the tunnel on the other side. It's not going to be symmetrical with this one. I don't like having everything symmetrical, um, simply because the tunnel is not exactly, you can't see two sides at the same time. So don't get too tied up with all having it to be perfect. Here I just contoured to the outside again to make it black, and I broke the contour group apart again, which for some reason it didn't show on this video, which I might have to fix that the next time. I'm just making some other areas blacker here. So when I'm done here, I'm gonna grab that whole section that I did on the left side of the snowmobile, or the right side to the screen, and I'm gonna highlight the whole area, and I'm just gonna duplicate it. You can duplicate it by going to, I believe it is edit duplicate, or you can just push Control D, and then you're just gonna mirror whatever you did on the one side and put it on the other side. Okay, here's the texture that I'm adding here now. This is like I'm gonna say like a graffiti style dot, but I do believe, yeah, I entered this as a PDF and it didn't have a transparent background, so I had to redo this. I had to insert another copy of it. That was the wrong copy. So like for design purposes, you want something with a transparent background. Say for example, a PNG file, or in this particular case, actually I believe this was a PNG file. This was black with a transparent background, just a bunch of dots. As you can see, it's nothing special. But you'll see what I'm going to do here. Let's see if I can explain it, because it's not really showing my dialog boxes when I pull them down. But I'm going to lay it over where I think it looks good. And I'm going to use the intersect tool from the shaping Docker window. You might be able to see that under window Docker's shaping. And you'll see me using it here in a second when I get it the way I really like it. Which is close, because I'm going to do this in two sections. So yeah, it looks pretty good. And I'm going to put another one up on the top part. So here we go, shaping. I'm going to pull down to the intersect. I'm going to intersect with the darker purple area. When that's done, I'm going to pull off the excess, and there we go. And by intersecting, the whatever was inside the darker purple area stayed. And the original image also, I just pulled it off to the side. So here I used the transparency tool. Because I want it to be a little bit darker. I don't want it to be violently black. So I used the transparency tool, or the gradient tool. And I turned it up to probably 50%, or wherever you think looks good. For me, I believe it was close to 50% there. And now I'm going to go to the upper section of the darker purple. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just making sure that it all lines up good, zooming in and zooming out. And I'm going to intersect the same way. I got to find that area where I can grab it. I think I'm having a problem trying to find an area where I can grab it. Oh yes, I use the layout menu, the object manager here, to find the dark purple because it was all covered. And then I intersect it and pulled that off to the side. I know I'm trying to cover a lot here, guys. It's probably hard to follow this, and I will get better at the videos as we go. But this is just a video to show you guys how it can be done. Introduce you to the ideas and the principles. I will get better at videos. I'm not very good at training or tutorials, but I will get better. And if you guys have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. So the same rules apply here. I'm in the object manager. I'm finding that dark purple curve, and I'm intersecting it with the image, or the texture. And then I'm going to pull it out. There we go. And presto. I'm going to put the gradient onto it, or transparency. make it all look the same. And then yeah, there we go. Then I'm going to go over here, do it over here. Again, we're going to intersect. I'm probably going to go to the object manager, find that area. You can see because the selection tool grabs, or the nodes kind of encapsulate the area that you're selecting. And there we go. I'll put the gradient on it. You can see me choose the transparency tool. Put it to about 50%. So now that's our texture for inside our dark purple. So now I'm not okay with just leaving that texture. I think I add some scratch texture to the lighter purple now, which you should see here in a second maybe. So we're basically going to use the same principles. We're going to add the scratch to the top here. Yep, perfect. There it is. So I'm going to tile that and mirror it, I believe. There we go. I mirrored it, and now I'm going to stitch them together just for to cover more area. And we're going to add this to the lighter purple. It's like a scratch texture, so I just slightly moved it. Undo is your best friend here, guys. Yeah, so I'm going to add this, and I'm going to go probably into the, as you can see, it looks a little bit busy right now, and we'll fix this in a second. I'll show you how. So I'm just positioning it in the best area. I'm going to find the lighter purple. I'm going to intersect it with the image and pull off the excess. Now, as you can see, the scratch is over the top of the dark purple, the dots, and it's over everything. So we're going to address that right now. You can do it by, I tried here using the pull down menu, or right-clicking on the image and going down to changing the order, but it doesn't show on the screen for some weird reason. But what I ended up doing was grabbing the image, and in order for me to get that layer behind the dark purple, I had to pull it down in the object manager. So you see the group of two objects, which is the group of the two images that I mirrored and tiled. So now I'm going to grab, you can see me go over here now, I'm going to grab it in the object manager to the right of the screen, that blue square, and I'm going to drag it down. Oh, try that again. Just double checking here. Yes, okay, now I'm going to drag this down to below that curve of the light purple. You can see it now, it goes right down below the dark purple. So it's still violently black, so we're going to put some transparency on those scratches so that it looks like looks more like a dark purple than it do black on the light purple. And I believe I take the dark purple and I also put some transparency on the dark purple, so just a hint of the scratches can pop through the darker purple like that. There you go. So that basically takes care of our texture here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks pretty good. So now we're almost at a point where I can just grab, okay, I'm going to do it right now. I'm just going to push Control D or duplicate. I'm not sure how I do it here, but you can do it, edit, duplicate, or you can push Control D and then you can mirror it and just place it in the exact same position on the other side. Okay, it looks like I did it here, but for whatever reason it doesn't, the pull down menus don't come through. But I went to edit and duplicate, and then I zoom in here and I try to find the exact position so to make it perfectly symmetrical in this area. And you can see I'm just sizing everything up, spacing. You can always move this around. You can group it together. It's probably a lot to follow along here. I mean, I find it easy because I do this every day, but again, it's just to give you an idea of how the graphic design goes. You can see this is starting to come together pretty good here right now. So now we don't have any images, we don't have any logos, we don't have, you know, normally a customer will want, I don't know, let's just say, for example, if they got Fox riding gear, they'll want to put the Fox logo there, or this particular snowmobile's an alpha. I didn't use the Alpha logo on it. I made my own Alpha logo with just an aggressive looking font that I had here. I'm probably going to end up doing that right now, I think. Um, I really don't know what's going on here right now. Oh yes, I'm adding the Arctic Cat to the tunnel, which was a nice addition. You really should, before you do your graphic design, you should really consider um, what parts of the tunnel are going to get done and where it's actually going to sit on the tunnel, because some of these instances, like your feet are going to be in the area, or you won't really see it because you're going to be sitting there, or there's rods going through the tunnel, or someone might have different accessories installed for tunnel bags, etc. So you really want to look at the actual snowmobile before you decide exactly. I'm just probably adding a little one, yes, right here. This is just an Arctic Cat that I had on file. Arctic Cat logo. It's a SVG logo, so it's layered like a clip art, not a PNG. And again, I'm keeping this really simple here. I'm not going to add in a pile of logos like CKX or Climb or any of that. These would be all things that you'd have to put in yourself, and you'd have to look at the panels and where they're going to line up and where you'd like to place them, which is pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. So here's the Alpha 1 logo that I had on file. This particular one I'm going to add to the tunnel, and I'm going to put it off-centered. Like I said, in the tunnel area, I really don't aim for perfectly symmetrical. I just I like it so it's off-centered. And this is the area down in the frame rail, or the single rail on the Alpha ones. There's a little bit of an area here that comes with a template. And I want to add the Alpha 1 logo down here, all in purple to match the rest of the snowmobile. And again, guys, you could put whatever you want down there. You can add all kinds of logos if you'd prefer. You might have some personal things you'd like to add there, like your kids' names or whatever, a business name or. And I believe this is where I add the Alpha 1, or just the Alpha. I just make a text. Here's the text button right there. And I'm just going to write out the word Alpha. And we're just using our pick tool. And I'm just going to use a pull down menu. For some reason, the pull down menus don't work. I'm just looking through some different fonts here. And there's the one I chose. You can see it's really aggressive. It's kind of a hard font to read, and that's kind of what I was aiming for. So here, this particular font, it has a lot of fine point lines, and I'm just changing the color a little bit here so that I can see the outline. I'm putting a contour. Well, I welded it together first. Okay, you can see these lines are intersecting each other. So I try welding them together to get rid of the intersecting lines. And then I believe I'm going to contour outside of it. Probably 1/8 of an inch or so. As you can see here, okay, that's too much. So they have to undo this, make the lettering bigger. And I contour a little bit less this time, which is looking pretty good. Maybe a little more wouldn't go bad. Okay, now we're going to right click on it, break contour group apart. And we're going to change our colors around a little bit, probably put a black outline on this. And then I duplicate that outside layer and put it to the back, sort of order to the back, which would be control page down. And we're going to use the back. Oh, I accidentally chose the wrong selection here. There, we're going to black outline it. And as you can see, there's a shadow. We're going to put some transparency on that shadow so that it's just a faint line, and it looks like yeah, you can see the shadow. Okay, here we go. We're gonna really make that line faint, and we're gonna leave the wording white, I believe, and go right over the area over here in a minute. You will see exactly where we're gonna put it. I'd suggest you grab all of it just like that and group it like that. Yep. So that way it's easy to grab a hold of when it's over all your layers and your textures. So you could lay it just like that if you wanted to. I mean, this is such an aggressive font that you can lay it any way you want. It's going to be hard to read anyway, and that's kind of what you're going for in this particular part of the panel. The alpha one, I believe, are all mountain cats, so you could even add the like Articat has a really nice mountain cat head. You could add to the bottom area panel of this if you wanted to. For this video, I believe we're just going to basically stop it here. As you can see, this goes over multiple parts of the template. So again, you want to template that lines up really well. We're just going to duplicate it, which Control D, and bring it over here on this side. Rotate it around as much as you can, just so it all fits in that section really well. And we're almost at the end of the video here, guys. This is basically summing it all up. Like I said, you can put in your own logos, you can put in your business names, whatever you want to do. But for the most part, this is done. I'm going to add before and after. And I thank you very much for sitting through this, 30-odd, 40 minutes. And I'll try my best to do a better job next time explaining certain things. Thank you very much.